My name is Kyle Martin. I've been wholesaling since about 2019. I got really like the end of it. So, technically 2020-ish, but I started in like November, December, and that was really just me getting my feet wet, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I did end up closing my first wholesale deal in the beginning of 2020, and I've been going strong since. This is my series on answering. It's like a Q&A series for people who come to me personally for questions, and then also I'm a sucker for Reddit. So I hop onto here and I'll look at I go on the advice page and I see if I can help someone out. So well, I have this person right here, Blue Era. They hit on the top. I love doing dispositions. I run a dispo team, and he's got a dispo question about best buyer scripts. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate scripts. I do not like it, but I don't mind frameworks. It's way to keep things in perspective and like keep everything moving in the right direction. But I don't like if they say this, then say that. That's that's not a good thing. It's not natural. Um, I'm gonna go over here. Let's go over the question. We'll start hopping in. Having a hard time where before I can even present a deal to a new buyer, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, anyways, you're presenting the deal to a new buyer. They basically don't want to be on the phone when I ask them if they're still flipping properties in the market. It's like they are allergic to making friends. I guess that's how you want to navigate only talking to motivated buyers like sellers. I know the golden rule is let the deal sell itself. Hell no. But as far as the relationship building goes, maybe more confident needs to be applied when making them take you serious. I mean, yeah. But there but there's always the new angle of I don't want them to waste my time either, wanting stuff for free. How do you find the perfect balance? How do I make them more enthusiastic to speak to me like a kid at the candy store? Perhaps there's a better data I can pull. Like on average, is there a range of properties owned by buyers that statistically show their motivation hunger level? Is it better to work with buyers that just starting out and only have a dozen properties in their portfolio or the ones who have like hundreds? Okay, so best buyer script, I think you need to drop that. Touched on it. I'll leave it there. I don't like scripts, so stop doing that. Um, let's tackle this one question at a time. You had a few in this whole thing. So I can present a deal to a new buyer. They basically don't want to be on the phone. Yeah, so basically it sounds like you're reaching out to a buyer and you have nothing to offer them. It sounds like you're saying, "Hey, are you still flipping properties in the market? I want to bring you a deal." And they're probably just on the phone with, yeah, I flip in the market. Bring me a deal. Call me back when we can talk. That's that's what I'm envisioning right now. It could be a little different. It's always better when, we can have an actual conversation. So, Blue Era, if you end up seeing this video, I'm gonna send it to you anyways. But I say reach out to me. We can have a real talk on this. I'd love to record it. But let's kind of dig a little deeper here. I know the golden rule is let the deal sell itself. The answer is no. No deal is ever going to sell itself. If you get $1 million property for $1 and you sit on it and you don't do shit with that, it ain't gonna sell. So like there's a lot of platforms out there. I think Investor Lift is decent for what it is. Like it's one of a kind. A lot of people are trying to mimic it. Um we've used it in our company. Basically, it's got an AI function that will find buyers in that area, but you know what it doesn't do? It doesn't just sit there and do the work for you. Yes, you can send a text campaign, but outreach is how you get that done. And that's exactly what a text campaign is, outreach. So you need to put some work in, man. There is no such thing as let the deal sell itself. Now we got that covered, let's move on. So as far as relationships building goes, maybe more confidence. Yes, dude, you need to be confident on that phone. If you're sending text, you need to be intentional with the text. I don't ask them, "Hey, are you still flipping properties?" No. I make sure I reach out to every single buyer we have bearing gifts. Am I sending them gift cards? No. Am I offering them anything for free like you don't want to do? No, hell no. I ain't offering shit for free. But what I am presenting is a property when I reach out to them. So if I'm doing cold outreach to buyers, I will have a property that I know that they purchase. And I also am looking, I'm very intentional with my dispo too, and you should be as well. What, first off, don't put your stuff on Facebook. If you're one of those people that keeps telling people to do that, stop doing that. All you're going to do is get daisy chainers, wholesalers calling you, pretending to be buyers, and you're going to spend more time weeding those things out than actually finding a real buyer. So here's a free method for you. Go to propwire.com, find a there's cash buyer setting on there. Look in your specific zip code, street, just look in your neighborhood where your property is, and something's going to pop up there. Those people, you can find them actively. It'll say cash buyers list. Make sure it's an LLC. It's going to have the LLC info. You can even see what price point they purchased at. I would reach out to those people. Every single one of them are buying properties. You don't have to qualify them. You don't here's the cool thing, man. You don't have to sit there and wonder if this is an actual cash buyer because you see their LLC data and the fact they own a property. Public records are the shit. If you don't have to sit there and try to figure out what kind of property they want, you literally have the data of what they previously purchased. Like PropStream, love PropStream. If you go into the if you go onto the listing there, it'll have all sorts of information. It'll have mortgage information. It'll even have properties owned of the LLC. And you can see the whole list of it. If they own 100 properties, awesome. They're a big buyer and they're going to do their thing. If they own like 5, 10 properties, awesome. They're already qualified. They own 5 or 10 properties and you have the addresses, the bed bath count, the square footage, the area for every single one of them. You literally have their buy box. You don't have to sit there and question them on that. No one wants to sit there and answer the same shit over and over to new wholesalers reaching out to them. I know, like me personally, because I do buy in DFW, Texas. When I get these calls, I have this Word document and I just text it super quick, text it over because I'm not going to sit there and answer those questions every single day. I literally don't have the time for it. But that's something you can do right there. So let's move on a little bit before there's an angle. I don't want them to waste my time either. Well, you don't want to waste your time, then you need to be more intentional who you're reaching out to, which kind of falls into line with what I just going over. Find the specific person for the specific property. You can find buy boxes super easy. You don't have to interrogate people for it. Let's see here. How do you find the perfect balance? How do I make them more enthusiastic? Okay, so that's going to be your messaging. That's going to be your conversation skills. That's going to be, working the sizzle is what people call it. If you are looking them up intentionally and you're finding specific LLC buyers in that specific area, you are already super intentional and they're going to be pretty enthusiastic when you reach out to them and say, hey, I have a property really close to 123 Main Street that you recently purchased. Are you looking for another opportunity? You like literally, I send out a text and I say the same thing when I talk to them on the phone. Why? Because I'm informing them who I am. I'm informing I know that they own a property here, and informing they got another opportunity very close to where the current property is. Most landlords want to own in the same area because it's easy upkeep. You can have the same handyman go to every property. You don't have to have multiple businesses doing the same or doing a different thing for every single property. Uh, Basically from there it's just having that legit conversation. Like that's in the intro. That's how you can get your foot into the door to have the conversation. And that's when you can sit down with them and go over that specific property that you do have. So if I have a property and I'm reaching out to John Doe about it, it's like, John, dude, like check out this one. It's right next to the one you recently purchased. If he says, I don't like it, the price is too high, awesome. Well, I get that price may not be what you're looking for. I mean, like I see 124 Main Street you bought is about $20,000 less. I guess fill me in on the price and what's not good about it. Do you feel like there's more work that needs to be done? Do you feel like the ARV doesn't quite match? don't ask them specifics like I just said, but like, these are example of things that you need to ask. Ask open-ended questions. Hey, what about that ARV do you not like? Do you have a better comp that I should be made aware of? They'll tell you, you know. Position yourself as well. Try not to seem like a new wholesaler. Try to seem and don't try to just be buddy buddies with someone. Here's a little tidbit I figured out. Rapport happens when you make money together. It's like when you're having an intro call with a cold call to a buyer and you're looking to work a property with them, don't don't try to just be their best friend. Like, is it wrong to be friendly? No. Should you be? Yes. Should you sit there and have 20-minute conversations forcibly about their dog? No, dude, don't do that. You know, if they bring up their dog and want to talk about it, cool. You know, but I also keep on point. When I start having those conversations, it's because we've already made money together. And you're more likely to answer my call now because you and I made money together and I'm gonna bring you more money. So keep that in mind as well. You want kids to be a kid, you want these people to be a kid at the candy store, you need to well, you need to be offering them candy for starters. Now here's what you can do. Here's the next part. Perhaps there's a better data I can pull. Yes, you can pull better data. Be very intentional, like I previously went over. Here's another one. Like on average, is there a range of properties owned by buyers statistically? Okay, so like, is there a difference between a buyer that owns 10 properties and a buyer owns 100 properties? Honestly, probably. There's not going to be too much of a difference, but for the most part, one's probably going to have a lot more systems and processes in place, and the other one might be more of mom and pop. Um, Honestly, they're both great to work with. I actually really like mom and pops, but I also like the professionalism of the big buyers because they get EMD in immediately, and I respect the hell out of that. So, you know, these are little tidbits for you. You know, I hope you reach out to me so we can have a real conversation and maybe pinpoint where you're struggling and what you can do. Something you can do if you do have properties, like if you have if you have these under contract already, consider working with a JV partner. If you don't have anything, God, consider working with a JV partner and bird dogging for a buyer. You know, tell hell if you don't know what you're doing, if this is your first time, do what I did and go work for someone. That's probably the best option for you. Because when I started, like I struggled for like 2 months, got a little, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little upset. And I decided like, hey, what's best for me right now is going to work this little crappy job, getting paid peanuts. My job, I got, God, it's honestly it's embarrassing to say this. I got paid $1,000 a month and I got paid 4% on whatever I made. And I don't know if y'all are aware how low that percentage is. I hardly made shit. Like I struggled. I was I was putting some of my bills on my credit card and then my credit card maxed out and I couldn't pay that fucker off and my credit dropped and it was a little upsetting. But I would still do it again because I learned everything that I needed to know to be able to go do this business. So don't knock working for others. Like, is the percentage gonna be great sometimes? No. Is the base pay gonna be good? Oh, God, no. I've yet to, you know, I hear Brent Daniels say that he pays people, you know, 60 to $90,000 a year. I have yet to see the wholesale company that actually does that. So if he's doing that, props to him. Um, I think, you know, if you're gonna put someone on a base salary and they're not performing, I would definitely get rid of them. But that it could be also how you get those A players. Right now, for the most part, like my team is pretty great. They are working on commission, but like I also don't give them 4%. You got to keep the team motivated. But hope this helps, man. You know, reach out to me so we can have a further conversation. Anyone who's listening, I hope this helped as well. Same thing. If y'all have questions, you need anything, reach out. We can do a Zoom. I'd be happy to answer anything I can.